What's good? It's your boy, CP Killer, aka Mr. Silent But Deadly, aka Young Tarantula, aka Professor Tux. Ooh. me. Sorry, I got a little something stuck in my throat, so bear with me. My apologies. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to teach you 3 simple tips to up your nighttime photography. Let's jump right on into this. Well, first of all, if you haven't seen the last video where we talk about the camera basics, ISO, shutter, and aperture, go ahead and click that little thing up there and it'll take you right to that video, so that way you can check that out, so that way you understand what I'm about to say in this video. Tip number 1 is that if you don't have enough light when you're outside at night shooting, so say if you're very minimal lighting, the only thing that you have is street signs or whatever, you don't want to have a low aperture, and that you don't want to have a low ISO on top of that. So actually you do want to have a low aperture. My bad. Forget about that. But your ISO or whatever, you don't want to keep that at a very low number, because like I said before, having an ISO at a very low number, yes, it does cut noise, but however, it doesn't allow enough light into the sensor, so you're not going to be able to get a lot. So boost your ISO. If you're at 100, you're at 200, take it to 1600, take it to maybe 3200. That's pushing it. Maybe just keep it at 1600 and see what you can do with it. Ultimately, if it's in your range of doing things and whatnot, see if you can go ahead and grab yourself a low aperture lens. If you have a couple of friends who have a lens that are low aperture, 1.8 to 1.2, if you can find it, those would be perfect for nighttime. Allows you to capture all the light that is coming in from the outside. It allows you to pretty much shoot in the dark, especially if you combine the 2 tips or 2 parts of this tip. You put it on, you have an ISO of 1.2 and you take it all the way up to maybe 800, you're gonna capture everything. But be careful when you do this, because it's going to create noise and grain, and you kind of don't want that in your pictures, depending on what your aperture is at. Closer to 1.2, you're looking at a little bit more noise, as if it would be at 1.8. Tip number 2. When you're outside doing night shots, doing night shooting, you're going to find light sources. I call them natural light sources only because they come from where you're at. They come from your atmosphere. It's not artificial where you had to make it yourself. So when you look for natural light outside in night scenes, see where the natural light is bouncing off of. See where it's reflecting off of. See where else the light hits your subject and this and that. Because you want to have an open perspective when you're out doing night shots. You're not gonna probably, if you will go out there looking for the standard, right in front photo face, or right in front of the face taking a photo, or trying to get the light from behind it, stuff like that, you're not going to get a very good picture, only because the light is coming from behind the subject, and you're not going to be able to get that light to illuminate the subject how you want. So you're going to have to, rotate the subject, figure out where the reflections are, maybe use the reflections to your advantage in the picture. You get a lot of cool stuff if you try to use the reflections from colorful lights, neon lights, bouncing off cars and stuff, what we did in this parking lot. And you can find those in you can use those to your creative advantage, and bringing out extra vibrancy and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So take a couple extra seconds when you're out shooting at nighttime and study the lights, study the reflections, and where it's kind of coming off of, and you can definitely use those as alternative light sources. Step number 3, it's actually a pretty simple one. It's almost overlooked, in my opinion. Bring your creative group of friends out to do the shooting. If you're out with the intention of shooting something already, then that works for you. But if you're just wanting to go out and get shots at nighttime with the neon lights, like how I do sometimes, then you're gonna want people in the shot. And I'm not the type of person to really go up and ask strangers yet. That's not really something that I like to do. But so I'll give all my creative groups of friends, the RJs, the Stevies of the world, the Joshes of the world, and we'll all get together, because we all take pictures and stuff. And it doesn't have to be art creative friends that just take pictures. It could be your drawing friends, your painting friends, your sculpting friends, your sewing friends. It doesn't matter. Anybody who does something creative, bring them with you, because the point of them coming with you is so that way you guys can bounce ideas off of each other as you shoot, because they might see something that you don't see, even though this is not their medium. they still will be able to probably find a different creative angle that you did not see. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. So, and you want to get used to that idea of like asking other creatives for help, because that's why we're here. Other creatives will do the same thing based off of their medium. Recap real quick.
Recap.
Tip number 1, get you a lower aperture lens if you can. If you can't, try boosting up your ISO. So, you know, about 1600, because that's about the highest that you can go without really seeing too much visible noise. Step 2 is pay attention to the lights. Pay attention to how they're reflecting, where they're reflecting off of, how they bounce off of your subject, and this and that, so you could get, you know, the proper perspective or different perspectives on how you want this picture to come out in terms of light. Step number 3, bring your creative friends. Use them as the subject. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for suggestions. Don't be afraid to ask for personal critiques, because that's why you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to try to get all of this so that way it just kind of betters your photography in a very progressive way. No, this is not going to give you like amazing, I mean, it might give you amazing results depending on how you use it, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not going to make you famous overnight. This has to be something that you use consistently, so that way you can continue to improve your photography. That is all that I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have, tell me what you thought about this. You know what I'm saying? Leave that in the comments. If you have any other suggestions on anything that you want to know, camera-wise, or if you have any questions, stuff you want to like see me review or stuff like that, throw that in the comments, because I would love to hear from you guys. And if you like this video, go ahead and smash the subscribe button that is down here beneath, you know, this video somewhere. Smash the like button that is also beneath this video somewhere, as well as hitting the share button, which is also down here somewhere. And while you're on top of all of that, hit the bell for the notification, so that way you know when this next video is dropping out. That's pretty much all I got for you today. Use these tips, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm out.